Hey guys, today I'm going to show you the secret lingams of Angkor Wat temple. Nobody has posted this information anywhere. This is not on YouTube. This is not even in any book. These lingams have never been observed before. When you walk around these passages in Angkor Wat, they have a lot of Buddha statues placed all around. Some Buddhas are huge and some Buddhas are small, and some of them have even been destroyed. And it is said that a total of 108 Buddhas were placed originally all around like this in this temple. But this is strange because Angkor Wat was originally built as a Hindu temple, and 108 is a sacred number of Hindus. So why would the original builders place 108 Buddha statues here? Let's examine this mystery. And here you can see this Buddha statue. Its head is broken. Now, the Buddha is already seated on a naga, a snake, and he's placed on a pedestal or a base. To a casual observer, there is nothing wrong, but something is very weird about the base. It does not fit the Buddha at all. You can see that the base is square, and there is a groove, an outlet for the water. This is the base of a lingam, and this groove is for the water to flow. I have shown you a lot of lingams like this and how they have these spouts or outlets for water. And look, the Buddha statue is completely separate and it's not even seated on the base properly. So where is the lingam? Where is the cylindrical part that once sat on this base? Believe it or not, it's sitting right here. You can see a part of the broken cylinder. This was the lingam which originally stood on the base. And here's another Buddha. This Buddha is much smaller than the base. And you can see the full base of the lingam here. How a lingam would have been originally placed. Maybe this is true only for small Buddha statues. What about the giant Buddha statues placed in Angkor Wat? Look at this one. This Buddha is more than 8 feet tall, has a huge 7-headed naga guarding him while he is in deep meditation. This is just a fantastic statue that even as a visitor, you want to pay respect to this Buddha. But look at the base. It's obvious that it's not at all a part of the Buddha statue. And you can see this rectangular groove for water outlet. There was originally a lingam here, and when civilizations changed, the lingams were destroyed and these Buddha statues were placed on top of them. I have examined at least a dozen of these Buddhas, and it's a very interesting modification to watch. When the temple was taken over by a different religion, they just removed the cylinders, but they kept the bases and placed the newer Buddhas on top of these bases. This is not a very well-engineered modification. In almost all cases, the bases look completely different than the Buddhas. Okay, so you have now seen the 108 lingams inside Angkor Wat temple, but these are not the lingams I wanted to show you. I want to show you the secret lingams that have been hiding underground for many centuries. In 2015, researchers used laser scanning equipment called LiDAR attached to low-flying helicopters and scanned the Angkor Wat area. And they were shocked to find a large field full of cylindrical projections hidden all around the temple complex. Archaeologists are calling them domes because they are cylindrical structures with nice smooth tops. These are obviously lingams. But it's not just the buried lingams that have stunned scientists. It's the sheer volume of them. They have found vast fields full of these lingams arranged in grid-like fashion, forming a large matrix. Experts confirm that these ancient structures were built around the same time as the Angkor Wat temple. Why were hundreds of these lingams built all around Angkor Wat temple complex? Why did ancient builders build such a large number of lingams both inside and outside the temple walls? These lingams are debunking all mainstream theories. Experts have always argued that there's nothing special about lingams. They're just statues people built, hoping the others will come and worship these lingams and give donations. But these lingams found by LiDAR technology is proving this wrong. If lingams were built only for worship and donations, why would they make these hundreds of lingams in a grid-like fashion and place them outside the walls of Angkor Wat? These lingams must have been used for a specific reason. It's been 5 years since these lingam grid has been discovered, but even today, experts say that the purpose of them is unknown, and they've called this the most enigmatic feature of ancient Cambodia. But we know what will eventually happen. They will claim that these were just random earthen mounds created for religious reasons. We cannot expect any other outcome from mainstream theorists. But what if I told you each of this lingam in the dome field was not only planned carefully and constructed with accuracy and precision, but also was absolutely necessary for the construction of Angkor Wat? These secret lingams were a part of the blueprint of Angkor Wat temple. Wait, did I just say blueprint of Angkor Wat? Where is that blueprint now? It's on top of a mountain called Phnom Kulen, about 50 kilometers away from Angkor Wat. Here you can see a square in the middle, and inside that square you can see 5 lingams or domes. Now compare this with the 5 domes of Angkor Wat. There's 1 in the center and 4 around the central dome. Exactly the same layout. Not only that, the square is not complete. It has a narrow extension reaching out. This is the causeway that connects the main temple with the outside area. And you can see the moat in the blueprint. It's a large strip between the inside and the outside. There's no doubt that this is the blueprint of Angkor Wat. But all these details are not important. The most important part is the vast lingam grid carved around the temple. It clearly lays out that there were hundreds of domes carved all around it like a matrix, and they must have been an integral part of Angkor Wat, because otherwise they would not have been carved here. I had visited this blueprint back in January, and I already observed these carvings and recorded my observations at that time. Let's take a look at that. There are 5 small lingams set up in the middle, and around it there's like a rectangular groove coming out. We're going to have to decode this. Why did ancient builders create these amazing carvings underwater 1,000 years ago? People will say this is simply for religious purposes, but there must be a scientific reason behind this, and we need to find out why they did it. But at that time, I did not read the LiDAR report, so I did not have an answer for these lingam grids. Now, LiDAR technology reveals that this entire place was a small-scale model of Angkor Wat. accurately filled with these lingams, and it's not just lingams. In some places, there are just holes, not protrusions. There are negative lingams or inverse lingams. Today, LiDAR technology is revealing the same pattern. There are these giant domes, but there are also depressions in some places. What were they doing with these lingams? Why were they created as an integral part of the temple? Today, we think this is the Angkor Wat temple, and this is just the woods and the new city built around it. This is not true. There are hundreds of lingams placed carefully all around the structure we see today. These lingams were an integral part of the ancient temple, and we can understand that from the blueprint of Angkor Wat. But why did the ancient builders have to go 50 kilometers from the location of Angkor Wat and carve the blueprint there on top of this mountain? Because this is the place where ancient builders planned, blueprinted, and decided to build Angkor Wat. Archaeologists confirm that the stones, the millions of sandstone blocks used in Angkor Wat, are originally from here. They were cut and transported from this very mountain. Today, this mountain is called Phnom Kulen. But the original name of this mountain was Sahasralinga, meaning the land of 1,000 lingams. And this mountain has several areas where the entire riverbed is completely covered with these mysterious lingam grids. Here you can again see another blueprint of Angkor Wat, a square within a square connected by a causeway. And look carefully, again, completely surrounded by these vast lingams spreading everywhere. I have shown you underwater footage of these lingam grids before. Okay, so I have finally shown you all the forgotten lingams, both inside and outside the temple walls. But the real question is, why? What were the ancient builders doing with these lingams? Why did they want to build all these lingams in a grid-like fashion all around the Angkor Wat temple? Perhaps the real answer can be found if we find the 8 lingams submerged in the middle, deep in the water of this moat of Angkor Wat temple. I hope you guys like this video. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell button, get all the updates. Please give it a thumbs up and do share it with your friends. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.